Teachers.
Teachers?
Yeah. I don't think my parents... I think my dad... I think my mom supported in her own way, but she didn't understand. My mom barely... she graduated high school and then, like, didn't go to college or anything, and, like, wasn't... Her education for her wasn't that important to her. My dad, like, I think felt threatened by smarts sometimes, and he told me something like that, and so I was just like... I just wouldn't talk to him much. They would always be happy when they saw, like, my report cards and stuff, but that was the most we talked about things. Whereas my teachers were the ones who would say things like, well, you should consider college, and I'd be like, what would my major be? Like, I just didn't know that. I didn't know, like, what my college options were, other than the colleges that I saw, like, played football. That was it. And so, like, there was one college I learned about that was, like, specific to engineering, but I never would have heard of it because it didn't have it had a sports team. They just were, like, Division, like, 4 or something, they weren't, but I learned about that from my math teacher, for instance, so, yeah, but definitely teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite teacher?
Oh, gosh. Probably the math teacher. He was good. He was, like, really helpful, really nice, and I found out later that, like, him, the art teacher, and all of them, like, hung out with each other, so it made sense. Like, the cool teachers, like, hung out with each other. And the ones that people didn't like, they didn't hang out with anybody else. But the math teacher was pretty cool. The only bad thing about him is he, like, would drink this really gross coffee. He'd always lean over your shoulder.
Oh, it was coffee. Right?
Yeah, so I, like, wouldn't drink coffee until I actually came to the Pacific Northwest, because I remember that smell. I was just like, oh. But my art teacher was pretty cool, too. He just recently passed away, but he really pushed me to think, like, I think he saw and knew from the other teachers that I was good at math and science, and he made sure that I was also at least trying to be good at art to, like, balance it out, and I think that really helped me, yeah.
Did your parents support you in college? Financially?
Not financially. I mean... they didn't have a lot of money, that sort of thing. They still don't have a lot of money. I would say my mom supported me emotionally. Like, she was really good at, like, I don't know, she would, like, try to keep things normal as far as the family. Like, she would call, she would ask me, like, if I'd done my laundry, stuff like that. I think my dad, honestly, like, just didn't care or felt threatened. I'm not real sure which, but I think when neither one of them came to my undergrad graduation, for instance. I think my mom came to my graduation for my master's, and both of them came for my graduation for my PhD. So, like, I see that as over time they started to value and support my education more, but it took, I was in school for how many years? 4, 2, 6. Yeah, I was in undergrad for 5 years, so 5 and 6, 11 years. Like, I've been in school for 11 years, and, like, to have them come to the end graduation, it means a lot to me, right? But, like, it would have been nice to kind of, get supported along the way, too. But at the same time, I didn't need it. It was like I was doing college, or I wanted to go to college for me, and, like, it wasn't about them as much as it was, like, I wanted to succeed and do well. At first, that's why I wanted to do it. And now it's like, okay, like, I can have different conversations with my family as a result of going to college, especially, like, around politics. Like, right now, oh my gosh, it's just really hard to have conversations with my family. But, like, being in college has trained me to, if somebody doesn't agree with you or doesn't want to listen, like, how do you still have a conversation in that space? Mm-hmm. That's something I've learned. And, yeah. So.
Were you a good writer originally?
No, I was so bad. I was good at math, but terrible at writing. I couldn't, like, I remember my English grades were always lower than my math grades, and I was really worried when I took, like, the SATs, because I was pretty sure I was going to dominate with math and just be terrible with the verbals. I remember studying, like, dictionaries and stuff like that just to try to learn. But yeah, and I still feel like I'm a terrible writer. Like, I tell my students, too. That I use the Writing Center all the time, because I'm like, there's something about writing that's really intimidating to me, and I think it's cool to share that with my students, because I think they all maybe feel intimidated too, but if their professor's saying to them, I use it too, and I'd be happy to walk over there with you, like, I think that kind of breaks the barrier up, because there are a lot of students in our master's program who are amazing students, but come from, maybe not very high quality schools and didn't learn to write well and things like that. And I think, I tell them just how important it is. Like, I think about all the emails, like when I send the email to President Ray or whatever, I'm like every word I'm so careful, or whatever, but luckily I have the skills to make it so, because I don't want to make a typo to President Ray, because, first off, he's the president of the university, but also I know that, like, he uses, I've seen on his computer, he magnifies his font really big, so, like, my typo would be massive, right? And I'm just, like, scared of that. Like, if somebody else walks in the room, anyway, I know that's silly.
This guy.
Yeah, but...